And it is now 9:30 and time for Tillamook Today. And this morning, we have another guest host. This morning, Stacie Zuercher is our host. What are you talking about today, Stacie?
Good morning. Thank you. And I am so excited to be here. My name's Stacie Zuercher. I'm with Northwest Senior and Disability Services, and I'm also a big part of the Tillamook Year of Health and Wellness, the task force, YOW, as we call it. We're going crazy over YOW. And I'm here with Ann Getsy, who is with the Oregon Dairy and Nutrition Council. Hi, Ann.
Hi, Stacie.
Thank you so much for coming. I'm so excited. You're my very first guest.
Well, I'm happy to be your first guest. I think we're going to have some fun talking.
I think so, too. So tell me a little bit about the Oregon Dairy and Nutrition Council and what your presence is here in Tillamook County and kind of your mission.
Okay, happy to do that. Well, our name is new, but our work is not new.
Right.
Oregon Dairy Council was first founded not too long after the creamery was founded. So we're going to be 100 years old in 1918.
Boy.
So people may know of us as Oregon Dairy Council or Dairy Farmers of Oregon or the Dairy Products Commission or maybe even the Checkoff Program.
Okay.
So that's who we are and the work that I represent. Our new name just represents how we do business, and one of the greatest examples is the YOW project. And I've been absolutely, it's been fun to work with people here in Tillamook, and I've been amazed at the excitement and the energy.
The collaboration between all these great different companies that are kind of coming together, the participation from of all ages in the schools, seniors, everyone's really jumping on board. And I want to say that there's over 370 people now signed up for the YOW Challenges online.
Yes, and I just this morning went online and logged in my week's numbers. So I hope everybody else will do that too, maybe even while they're listening.
Well, and the good news is they changed it up this week. So now you can go in for the whole week and enter your numbers, because I think that was a little bit of a challenge. So I'm really excited to announce that. Yeah, it's kind of crazy to do that Monday morning. Oh no, I forgot, because it's a busy weekend and all that kind of stuff. So, So how did you get involved in YOW?
Well, we came to, we have this project to do town hall meetings, and Tillamook was our first. And we chose Tillamook because we were looking for a community where there was some interest and some energy and a certain readiness. But we talked to our different state-level partners in WIC and SNAP-Ed and Dairy Farmers Association, just the broad range of people that we work with. And they all said, would you just take a look over in Tillamook County? Yeah. There's some good people and some good work over there. And so we did make a few phone calls to some people, and we had an initial planning meeting with the school district and with SNAP-Ed and OSU Extension, and they all said, yes, this would be great. And they said, you need to get to know Marlene, and you need to get to know Michelle, and all of a sudden, and Commissioner Bill, we need to, in this energy, we found that, but they all said to us, thank you, because we needed this little spark. We needed something to help pull us together. So we had a town hall meeting at the end of May.
Right, I remember that.
Wasn't that
so
great?
Marlene's with the health department. She runs the health department. Bill Bartline has been the driving force here as county commissioner in making this the Year of Health and Wellness, and his participation is amazing. I don't know if you've seen him online doing the hula hoop challenges and all that good stuff.
I'm afraid he might challenge me, so I have to be careful.
Yeah, hopefully he's listening, though. You might be in trouble. And then Michelle Yank has been a huge part of it too. So
yes, absolutely. So we helped by having this town hall, and it was all about the learning connection, which is nutrition and physical activity. When those are in sync with kids, their brains function better, and they do better in school. So that was the angle that we came at it with. And the school district, all three districts in the county have been really great and responsive. But we found that there was this gold mine of the much bigger vision for the countywide Year of Wellness. So,
and the participation for those town hall meetings were amazing.
It was great. I think we had 50 people or so, and we spent some time doing some brainstorming and writing wish lists of things that people would really love to see to improve health and wellness in the county. And a lot of those things are happening. So, and that hasn't even been a year ago. So it's very impressive.
Yeah. hit the door running.
Absolutely.
So, and nutrition is really important as far as fighting chronic disease.
Absolutely. And the YOW has, and then those weekly challenge questions, there's the one about how many servings of vegetables and fruits did you have each week? Just vegetables, I think it is. And then the other one is how many times did you make a healthier choice in a day? And so those two things are absolutely designed to help people with fighting chronic disease, managing weight, doing all of those things that are important for our health.
Yeah, and it keeps someone accountable.
Absolutely.
To be thinking about those things. So that's fantastic. And we have Dr. Hassel's coming, who is the leader at Integral Medicines at Providence St. Vincent's.
Yes.
He'll be here on March 11th, and he's going to be doing a free education piece up at Fresh in Bay City. And the whole goal is to talk about nutrition. And you're familiar with Dr. Hassel?
I am, and his work. And I think the best part of what he does is to, what I believe in too, is to get people tuned in to cooking and eating. And it can even be very simple kinds of things. Doesn't have to be elaborate shopping or expensive ingredients, but eating at home, sharing meals, and cooking more healthfully. So I'm really excited about it.
Oh, it's going to be really fun. And we're going to piggyback healthy lunches out of he's got a great cookbook called Good Food, Great Medicine. So we're going to serve some food out of his cookbook at that event and then do the cooking classes the next day. So anybody that wants to participate can call Northwest Senior and Disability Services to get on the reservation list to RSVP so that they can participate. And then the other great thing that's coming up this spring is Northwest Senior and Disability Services is partnering with the Oregon State Extension Office to do a cooking class for SNAP Ed.
Oh, good.
So that'll be an opportunity, 6-week long classes for people to come and do exactly what you're talking about, which is learn about how to not make it overwhelming, how to save bucks at the grocery store, and all those good things. So.
Absolutely. My classic example for that is buy a bag of beans.
Yeah.
And figure out how to cook up some beans. And that can be such a great way to boost the nutrient density and variety. And they're cheap. And put a little garlic and you're good to go, and it tastes great.
Well, and it lasts longer, too. When you throw those kinds of things in, you make more portions out of the meal and all that good
Exactly.
Good
of course, they're even better if you put a little shredded cheddar cheese over the top.
Of course. You have to have the cheese.
Yes.
Plug in the cheese. So tell me about the Fuel to Play 60 program. I'm really excited about this for our schools.
Good. Well, it's a national program with National Dairy Council, the NFL, and the USDA. There's over 70,000 schools nationwide that are participating in it. In Oregon, we have over 600 schools. And it's all about building an environment for wellness within the school. Nutrition and physical activity. So the Fuel Up is the nutrition side.
Okay.
And the Play 60 is 60 minutes of play or physical activity every day.
And is this targeting any specific age demographic for kids?
It's K-12.
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 Okay.
And we have some involvement in high schools, some middle schools. Mostly, at least it started with the most energy in elementary schools.
Neat.
Yeah. And
well, you have to have support and some excitement from the school leaders to get that started. So
Absolutely.
It sounds like you've got that support so we can get going.
We call those people champions, and we love them when they step up. Absolutely. And the other part of this that's really great is it's meant to be a student-led program. So we have some great stories of student leaders that have come up in the program. One gal from Bend went to a National Youth Leadership Summit in Washington, D.C. last year, and she was in elementary school, and now she and her sister, they're twins, are in middle school, and they're taking the program to their middle school. They have convinced the principal.
What a great opportunity for them to learn some really solid skills, too.
Absolutely.
Neat.
Yes.
Well, so Rosenberg's, where can you go to find almost anything you need for home improvement? I'll tell you where, Rosenberg's. For over 50 years, Rosenberg's has been your local connection for anything you need to build and finish your house to perfection. Carpets, cabinets, paint, electrical, plumbing, nuts and bolts, fencing, windows, doors, and so much more. All those things in one place, but that is only part of the story. What really makes Rosenberg's your stop for home improvement is their people. Their knowledgeable, friendly staff is there to help you through any project, any question from what paint you should use to how to install a new shower valve, you can get the help you need to do it right the first time. Stop by Rosenberg's today to rediscover what you have known all along. It's better to shop local and work with great people who you can see every day. Build it, plumb it, wire it, paint it. Rosenberg's Builder Supply in Tillamook. I love them. You can go in there and ask them any question, and they are just all over it, and they really give you great service. So let's talk a little bit more about, we're sitting here with Ann Getsy, who is with the Dairy Council, and talking about YOW and all these great programs that are going on. So I mentioned that we're doing a SNAP Ed for seniors. So tell me a little bit about nutrition for seniors and how important that is with fighting chronic disease.
Oh, that's one of my passions.
Is it?
Yes, thank you for asking.
Nailed it.
Yeah. Been working with some of my dietitian colleagues in Portland, and nationally there's greater recognition for the issue of malnutrition, which, we all see every day, but you think it's maybe just part of growing older. But seniors who are maybe isolated or just maybe bored with cooking and eating, but not
Their
eating.
mobility has such an impact too. It gets harder and harder, or especially if you have cognitive deficits and all those kinds of things.
There's lots of issues, taste changes,
Yeah.
digestion, all those kinds of things. But what's happening then is that when older adults then end up needing some sort of treatment and they're malnourished, they don't do very well. And with healthcare reform now, there's, of course, so much interest in good outcomes and keeping people from bouncing back to the hospital or even needing the more expensive levels of care. It's great because it's putting the focus on prevention. So we're working with raising awareness for malnutrition through senior services and even at senior meal sites where some nutrition education is required.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, and a big part of that is protein and getting enough protein and spreading it out throughout the day. And that's even true for adults after the age of 50, when it starts feeling like everything is not working quite the way you want it to. But to maintain lean muscle mass through, as we all get a little bit older, it's important to eat protein. And most people just maybe skip breakfast or maybe have a carbohydrate-rich breakfast and a protein-heavy dinner. That's the traditional meal pattern.
Right.
But really, there's some very good science that's showing it's important to have a good breakfast, a good lunch, and maybe not so protein-heavy a dinner, and maybe not so big of a dinner.
And that impacts your blood sugars. And if you have prediabetes or insulin dependent, that also plays into that.
Absolutely. That's what I love about healthy eating is I think sometimes we want to have these special, unique diets for heart disease or diets for diabetes or diets for osteoporosis or whatever. And certainly at the prevention level, there are some specifics when people get a little deeper into chronic disease, but it's not that complicated. It's pretty simple.
Start reading the labels and
getting
rid of all the gunk you can't pronounce.
Right. Well, and just think about what you're eating. Be a little bit mindful about it and look for ways that you can make that healthier choice every day, wherever you are, whether you're at home or you're eating out or about or whatever you're doing.
We're doing through the Year of Health and Wellness, we're doing the pre-diabetes prevention program. It's a year-long program. We meet weekly for 16 weeks and then monthly after that. And in 5 weeks, one of the participants, her blood sugar went from 350 to 200.
Wow.
And it was writing down her foods, holding herself a little bit more accountable and really starting to pay attention. And she says it's not that hard because she just started writing it down and going, whoa, I didn't really think about some of the food that I was eating and how that impacts all those things. And she was very motivated because she doesn't want to be on medications.
That is
so she's
fabulous
in that small
success story.
Yeah,
and
it's very exciting.
Well, but the research says, too, if you do that, go through that process of writing down everything you eat, and there are lots of apps you can download and use on your smartphone. Even the tracker tool that's part of the Year of Wellness, there's a downloadable sheet you can use to keep track every day of your choices.
Is that the MyPlate?
No, actually, it's on the Tillamook County HealthMatters.org website.
Oh, okay.
When you sign on to do the challenge and you log in.
Oh, okay.
And it's even simpler than other tracking tools where you track your minutes and your servings and so you can use that.
Go on TillamookHealthMatters.org And you can download that. It's just, I'm looking at it right now. It's a very quick little spreadsheet that has the times, the different categories of things to record. And so it's a nice little tool that makes it easy.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And there are more complicated tools, too. And the My Tracker, which is from USDA, is one of my favorites,
Okay,
too.
Tell me about that. They've had some recent changes in how that works, right?
Well, that's the dietary guidelines for Americans that
what
come
am I
out
talking about?
and it's all from USDA.
Okay.
So absolutely, it's related. But the My Tracker, you put in your age and your physical activity and your goal weight, and then it helps you personalize a diet plan for yourself. And then it has the tracking mechanism, so you can keep track of what you eat every day and also how much you move every day, which, of course, those go hand in hand.
They do. And water.
Important.
Got to have your fluids,
Got to have your water. Yes, and water and milk are good choices for fluids, of course.
Of course. So, boy, we've got some big events coming up in March. In addition to Dr. Hassel, the Monthly Movers is our physical activity program. And so I'm really excited about that. We're doing the Tai Chi for free for people over the age of 60, and that's here in Tillamook and in Hebo. Cool. And we have great participation for that, as well as the North County Rec District up in Nehalem is doing their walking groups. I think they have the Art for the Heart this Sunday, which is an opportunity for people to go and learn more about cardiovascular disease, because that's our topic for the month of February. And, of course, the YMCA is really involved. You can actually go into NCRD or the Y any day of the week if you're not a member, and you can go and work out for free and get a tour so that you can, maybe start talking about and working through getting an exercise program started.
That's fantastic. That's great. What great partners. And this is the thing about the Year of Wellness, is all these different businesses and agencies have really stepped up to participate.
The partners, the Reinhardt Clinic, the County Health Department, the Tillamook Family Counseling Center, the Y, of course, the Oregon Dairy Council,
Don't forget Extension Service,
the
too.
Oregon State Extension Service. Everyone's just jumped on board. The Columbia Pacific CCO, I have to, of course, mention them, and Care Oregon, because they're just coming in. They're helping us to add events and education opportunities, all kinds of really
providing
good
funding, which is so important
Yes.
to make something like this really happen.
Right. So we'll take another little short break here. Tillamook Regional Medical Center. Early childhood screening is an important step to successful learning. Tillamook County's Early Childhood Screening Fair is a community program led by Tillamook Regional Medical Center in partnership with community organizations, businesses, and individuals. The screening fair is March 2nd, 3rd, and 4th at the fairgrounds. Your child will receive needed immunizations, exams, and screenings for physical, nutritional, hearing, behavioral, vision, child development, dental, speech, and also leadership opportunities. Free to all 2 to 6-year-olds, regardless of your income. Call today for an appointment at 503-815-2292. Now back with Ann from the Oregon Dairy Council. Boy, we've covered a lot of things, haven't we?
We have. We have.
So another thing that I keep going back to is our cardiovascular health, because that's really important, and it's something that we're working on this month, bringing awareness to. We had a Go Red event where people could come and get their blood pressures checked and all those kinds of things. And so the nutrition obviously, plays a big part in that.
Absolutely. And one of the things that I love about the YOW website, the Tillamook County Health Matters.org, is that they're going to be adding more and more healthy eating and nutrition recipes, as well as there's columns and blog posts on healthy eating. Okay. So there's lots of good resources that are out there. Mm-hmm. Another one that I really love, and we were talking about SNAP-Ed in the cooking class that you're going to do, but foodhero.org.
Okay.
That website has a wealth of recipes. And they're all appropriate for heart health because they meet general healthy criteria. Mm-hmm. But what I like about them, too, is they're not intimidating. They're what we were talking about earlier, with basic, simple ingredients from all the food groups. That dairy is certainly included as part of it. As in, there's lots of great recipes with yogurt and cheese. And of course, you want milk in your glass when you're having
Well,
your healthy meal.
Talk about dairy and how important what it brings. Its protein source and a lot of other good nutritional things that are important to an overall diet.
Absolutely. We talk about a complete package of nutrients. We used
Okay.
to list them all out, but really what people need to know is that it's a nutrient-rich choice. So, and that's a big focus of the new dietary guidelines that we were talking about,
Right.
is choosing nutrient-rich foods so you get the most nutrition per calorie. And dairy foods are fabulous. They're one of the most nutrient-rich foods that you can choose. And
It's a one-stop shop.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And for heart health, the story's really interesting. There's a long time diet plan or way of eating that's been studied lots and lots. It's called DASH.
Okay.
And it was originally designed for decreasing hypertension. And it came out of some research about calcium and its impact on high blood pressure. And there have been lots and lots of studies, but they had used calcium supplements. And this study was designed to use real food. And it was fantastic because the supplement studies were good, but it was inconclusive. And when they switched to using real food, then they saw the real benefits. So the DASH diet is all about eating more fruits and vegetables, whole grains, lean proteins, and of course dairy foods. And a lot of times people, when they think about heart disease, think that you maybe shouldn't have dairy or you should have less dairy. And some of that comes out of some of the research around saturated fat. And
right. That was going to be my next question, is talk to me about, that perception that a high fat diet is unhealthy.
Right. Well, there's lots of things about dietary fat, and part of it is that it does add calories. So nobody's really saying, oh, gosh, we don't have to worry about fat at all.
Right.
But it's not as villainized as it was, because when we were, when I came of age as a dietitian 30 years ago,
Right.
It was we counted every single fat gram, and we really talked to people about, you just can't eat fat. You can't eat fat, or you need to eat as little fat as possible. But what people ended up doing then was just eating a bunch of carbohydrates. And newsflash, we've had way too many sugars, and particularly refined carbohydrates in our diets and added sugars. So now we're saying, whoa, need to pull back on that a little bit. And the carb section, think about whole grains for sure. Cut back on added sugars. And on the dairy side, and with saturated fat, I think there's still a lot that we still need to figure out, a lot more research to do, but there have been some really great studies. And there's a growing body of evidence now that shows that the saturated fats that are in dairy foods may not be as harmful as we've thought that they were in the past. In fact, I think there's a consensus now that says that they're not harmful. They're not necessarily helpful. We haven't proven that for sure, but they're not harmful. Yeah, and this is all evolving research and science, but it's really good news, and it really tells us what we've known all along too, that a variety of foods, certainly some cheese and yogurt and milk, are very important parts of a healthy diet, whether you're thinking about heart disease or cancer or just to keep your weight in control.
Okay. And then what about the carb issue? Because everyone talks about, I love bread. What do I do?
We'll still have some.
Yeah. Moderation, it sounds like.
Moderation, yes. And one of my biggest tips, I guess, in terms of really figuring this all out would be to just think about your food, because a lot of times we eat without thinking about it, or you'll grab a snack thinking, snacking is a good thing and I need to have a snack, but really what you might need is a little walk or a glass of water or something like that, or maybe you do need a snack but you don't need as much, so it's very easy to overeat in those situations.
Well, in the portions, that becomes really important because,
it does.
And I think that's the resources with My Plate will help you balance out those portions. And I understand that you're supposed to eat every 3 hours.
That's usually a really good approach.
A lot about that.
Yeah, it is, because you get too hungry, your blood sugar gets low, you get grumpy, hangry, I think is what we call it, right? That's never a good idea.
Yeah, exactly.
No. But physiologically, there's a reason why you're hangry. So eat on regular times. Meals are the best. People don't eat meals anymore, and I can't quite figure that one out. But
I think that mindless in front of the TV thing is the norm for most people these days.
Exactly. So get back to the table.
Right.
Eat on a regular schedule. Yeah.
I do a family caregiver support program where it's really catered to people who are caring for a loved one or friend in their homes. And so nutrition's a really big part of that. We actually, through the hospital and Northwest Senior and Disability Services, have a powerful Tools for Caregiver support program that's going to start next week. And so that's a really good tool. But all this information about how to provide good, healthy meals becomes so important when you're working with and trying to care for a loved one.
Yes, absolutely, because those are the things that you can just sort of let slide when you've got other new responsibilities, but it's important.
Yeah. Balance.
And we need to take care of caregivers, right? That's
we do need to
friends
take care
and family
of
that show up with a
caregivers.
pot of soup or something is really more helpful than you ever even know.
And there's just good people here in Tillamook County, and they're doing the work, and they're supporting one another, and it's just a joy to be a part of. And I'm so glad that you're here.
Good.
So the Year of Health and Wellness, once again, the sponsors are Rosenberg Building Supply and Tillamook Regional Medical Center this morning. A few just quick announcements. Monday, Lisa Greiner will be back at the House of Grace. Senior Meals, noon every weekday at the Kiwanda Community Center in Pacific City. The cost is $3 for seniors and $6.75 for everyone else. Senior meals are also served at 11:30 at St. Mary's by the Sea in Rockaway Beach every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And Sunday is Valentine's Day, and you can celebrate early with a night out at the Elks Club dancing to the Stingrays. That'll be fun Saturday night.
Are you going?
You know what? I might now. Put on my dancing shoes. And next Monday night, be at the Elks for tacos and the freshman cake sale. It's charity drive week, so there's also tonight, there's donkey basketball going on. There's the ham dinner and silent auction at the Sacred Heart Church. There's just all kinds of fun things, happening. Never a dull moment in Tillamook County, right?
That's right.
Thank you so much for being here, Anne. It was really a pleasure getting to know you and talking about all these wonderful YOW events.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you.